first real work with a client begins by getting them to change the way that they think about their business. No matter what business you're in, when that's what you live and breathe and do all day, it's easy to have a very kind of insulated view of that and not, you've never had to think about how outsiders see you or understand you, or if they do in the first place. So my first job is basically just get them to step out of their own shoes a little bit and just look at what they do from an outside perspective. Do the things you say make sense to someone who doesn't work for you? You need to speak to outsiders because your customers are outsiders. The language you use, pretty much everything. We can't write content that speaks to them unless we can start thinking like them. So obviously the creative challenges end up being the fun ones where the client has something interactive or animated that some complex idea to present, right? And I get to work with the designers and just plan out how to do that cool, interesting thing in a way that everyone's going to understand. So those are obviously just it's more creative, it's more fun. But there are like the day-to-day kind of just challenging ones too, which I still like. They might just have a huge pile of services or products that need to be organized in a way that makes sense to a visitor, and they just don't know how to do it. Maybe just because they've just been they've been in that world too long. So for some reason, kind of sorting and grouping and figuring those lists out is fun for me. But I guess that's why I do this job. This might be a non-answer. I feel like our differentiation kind of came about from the clients we've chosen to work with. So, the B2B audience, for example, our B2B clients, I find there's not a fear, but there's almost a hesitance to be out there and do kind of a little bit, push the envelope a little bit in terms of kind of creative or even copywriting. It's just there's always that, well, we're B2B, we're business, everything's very, you can push. And I think one of our strengths is getting them to be okay with that, be comfortable with that, and helping them stand out because of it. They're not just, the buttoned up, here are our services kind of company. On the other side of that, you've got kind of our healthcare clients, and I think our biggest strength there is really because we've been in so many different sectors of healthcare. We've spoken with and spent good amounts of time with physicians, patients, device manufacturers, drug development firms, CROs, hospitals, because we've worked across all those different kind of landscapes. We know those landscapes. So when one has to speak to the other, we already know that language. We know what they care about. We know what they worry about. So all that kind of cross-training helps with working with all those different types of companies. For me, a successful UX strategy means that we've created a very easy and painless experience for a user, which in turn makes their job easier, their job being choosing our client. So the end user's happy, that makes our client happy.